Hello and welcome to this channel. I share tips and tricks on how to get more out of X-Plane 12. Today we are at Cherry Point, runway 23 right, and we're going to be practicing how to master our landings. Runway 23 is the runway that we're using, and we're going to follow the approach to the ILS to runway 23 right. So let's just pull it up. Oops, wrong approach. There you go. So this is the ILS, and I'm not going to fly the whole procedure because I'm a VFR pilot. All we're going to do is load in the frequency on our radio, and once we have the frequency and the approach course of 234, we're going to use that as guidance for our approach. So simply, I'm going to cheat and show you how to do this. So instead of typing in the frequency myself, I'm just going to open up the map here, click on the approach, and just tune it into nav1, and it's going to set the frequency, and it's also going to set the approach course for me. So it's a quick way to set it up. Now, if you want to know how to do DME arcs and how to shoot ILS approaches, the YouTube channel that you want to check out is one called Flight Quest-40. You'll see him in the comments from time to time, but his teaching is masterful. I'm simply here as a VFR pilot to pick up what you do after you nail the perfect approach. So what we're going to do is simply going to take off, fly upwind, crosswind, downwind, and land, and see how I do. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that I do to master the landing. So we're in the airplane, we're on the runway. First things first, I'm going to set my heading bug to runway heading. And the reason why I do that is this is going to give me a good marker as I'm flying my pattern. I'm going to fly this pattern by hand, not going to use any of the automation. And right here to the right is my VOR and ILS, just to give me course guidance and also vertical guidance down. So here we go. Again, I'm flying it like I stole it. We're not going to talk to ATC. Simply going to start our upwind and just gaining some airspeed first. Full throttle. Once we hit the green arc, I'm just going to pull back aggressively. Well, not aggressively, and we're going to climb out. 65 knots, so I keep pitching up until we hit about 65, then I pitch over, and we're going to maintain that speed on the climb out. Up a little fast so I can keep pitching up a little bit and adjusting. There we go. Okay, once we're about 600 feet, and I did not check my field elevation or set my altimeter, we'll do that on downwind, just so that we know where we are. So we're going to do our crosswind, and again, I'm using my heading bug to help me work my pattern. So once I'm crosswind, the heading bug should be off to my right, just like it is, and that tells me I'm a good crosswind. So you can use that to help you as you fly your pattern, especially if you're in an airport where you're very unfamiliar with the area, you don't know what the compass headings are. Simply keep your heading bug. If you set it to runway heading, you'll be able to use that as a reference point without even looking at the airport, and you'll be able to fly a nice square pattern. So here we go. All right, so now I'm just going to remove a little bit of power, and I'm going to trim the plane so that the nose is not pitching up. There we go. So we're hand flying this. All right, now that we're approximately on a good heading and leveled off at the right speed, I'm going to go ahead and ask for the altimeter.
Cherry Point Marine for Air Station Tower, 2 Sierra Papa, request altimeter.
2 Sierra Papa, altimeter 2992.
Altimeter 2992, 2 Sierra Papa.
All right, so our altimeter is 2902, 2992, so it means I can keep climbing to pattern altitude, which is 1,029. We're just going to let it fall off at 1,000 feet and use that as our marker. So leveling off a little bit ahead of my altitude. There we go. There we go. So hand flying is going to really help you master your aircraft control. So we're going to control, now we've got power set. We're at downwind, we're just going to maintain our altitude, just slight variations on the pitch to adjust altitude. Here we go. Okay, so I look off to the left, the field is nice and far behind. I don't have my DME, so I don't know how far I am from the field, but we'll turn our base and see what that looks like. All right, so now to turn base, I'm going to make the left turn, and again, I'm using the heading bug. I'm going to make the turn before I hit the clouds. And as I turn base, I'm going to start slowing down so I can do my initial power reduction. And on the Cessna 172, for me, I find that 1700 on the RPM is a good power reduction on the base. So that allows me to slow down, get into the wide arc, and I can keep pitching up to maintain altitude. And then I can do my first notch of flaps. Here we go, a beam. And I like using the Cessna because here it really forces you to focus, especially if you hand fly it, focus on your pitch control and throttle control. So speed's dropping, we're going to keep 1700 RPMs on the speed and maintain altitude. Give me about 70 knots. And here we go. Ooh, a beam. We're already supposed to turn our final, so I overshot a little bit, and I noticed I'm a little high on the glide slope. So what I'm going to do is reduce power to 1500 RPM, start my descent, and then realign. I got a little careless talking to you guys while shooting the approach. What we're going to do is just slow the aircraft down. So power reduction, pitch up a little bit, second notch of flaps. Now I know I'm very high. I can make this up, simply go to 1000 RPM, keep the same speed. So I just pitch for the speed. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to increase my rate of descent, keep it at about 60 knots. So as you can see, I'm really coming down that approach. I'm a little bit to the left of the runway. And now that I'm on the glide slope, I can add power and then maintain my speed. So I use pitch and power to control my rate of descent, and now I've got the needle squared. So I'm going to maintain that rate of descent, add just a little bit of power. And once I'm stable 60, then I can trim a little bit to release the control pressures. And here I am, following, shooting my approach. All right, I can go for my final notch of flaps when I'm a little closer. And what I'm going to do is reduce the power just a little bit, slow down a little bit to my desired speed, and then final notch of flaps, pitch down to correct, and then add a little bit of power. So this is how I do it to avoid the ballooning that happens when you deploy the flaps. If you're going too fast and you deploy the flaps, the plane's going to balloon up a little bit. So here we are on final approach, and it's looking good. So what I'm going to do, and talk this before I do the flare, I do my final power reduction, and then I'm going to pitch up and slow down till the white arc, 40 knots. When I get into the ground effect, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, a little low, so I'm going to add a little bit of power to get back on to slope. Here we go. Now I can do power reduction again. Once again, I'm just flying it the way I like to fly it. I'm not following the POH at this time. I'm at the lower end of the green arc. So once I transition into my flare, you're going to see I'm going to pitch up until I hit the lower end of the white arc. So here we are, power is good. Going to reduce the power just a little bit. And now I'm approaching my flare altitude. So I look down the runway, pitch up just a little bit. And there we go. Pitch up, pitch up, pitch up. Keep pitching up. Keep pitching up. Keep pitching up. You can hear the stall buzzer, and there we go. We've greased it onto the runway with minimal forward speed, and I simply let the nose come down. So I'm going to pause really quick so you can see what that looks like. Now, of course, it's not a perfect landing because I'm a little distracted talking really fast. So let's just rewind and see what that looks like. I'm going to take away the chat window. There we go. Go back. So we'll go from right here, and you'll see my pitch correction. And again, minimal pitch changes. So you look at the airspeed, 51 knots, a little slow. I mean, I'd like to come in at 60 knots over the threshold, but you can, in this plane, clearly make the approach at 51 knots. Holding the speed steady. And now as I'm getting closer to the ground, looking down the runway, I start my pitch up, my flare. I started to flare a little bit high, so it's a longer flare, but as you can see, power's down to maybe 1,000 RPMs, and I just keep the nose up until the plane gets to the lower end of the white arc, and then it'll stop flying. This allows you to land on the runway with minimal forward speed and control of the aircraft. And if you do it right, you're going to be rewarded with many pleasant landings. You're not going to bounce or flare long and stay in the ground effect really long. And that's because as you approach the flare, you're doing your power reduction. If you want to see what that looks like, here we go. So you can see pitch is slowly coming up. I'm looking outside the window. Power reduction. Power is holding at about 1,000 RPMs here, and you can hear the stall buzzer right when the white arc, the speed gets right below the white arc. So I've landed in minimal forward speed, but still enough speed to control the aircraft. And then if I were to jump on the brakes, I can do a really short landing. And again, I use the ILS to give me lateral guidance and vertical guidance on the way down. So if you practice your approaches like this and simply focus on pitch and power control, you're going to be able to enjoy many landings that you can be proud of and share with your friends. Now, once again, Flight Quest -40, I'll post a link to his YouTube channel. He goes into detail on how you can shoot DME arcs, ILS approaches, and proper procedures, startup, shutdown. He's my go-to guy as I remind myself how to properly use the procedures when you're flying as a pilot. So check him out, definitely check him out. And I hope this has been helpful to you. If you enjoyed this content, please consider giving a thumbs up. That lets me know that I'm on the right track. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider hitting that subscribe button. And I put out a video once a week. And for those who join, all of you, all 322 of you right now, I am so glad that you're here on this journey. I look forward to sharing more exciting content with you, and I will see you in the next video.